How we doing, guys? We are here at our 12th week of the term, and this week we move on to our next mode of discourse, that is definition. So our last one was classification and division. I enjoyed reading your journals and adding my own 2 cents in there about the process that is classification and division, a very necessary prerequisite process that we use before we really stop and take serious stock of something. Before we could truly analyze something, we need to break it down into smaller parts, group it, categorize it in order to understand it better. And then you all, as of viewing this video, have turned in your redone, if you will, narrative essay, for which you added an extra page and made any necessary revisions based on your rubric score, based on any comments that I might have made. And remember, that is going to be a new grade averaged together with your original narrative grade to give you a final grade in the narrative essay slot. Okay. And then we will proceed that way. Next week, we will do our descriptive essay. Same deal. Okay. But in between the narrative and the descriptive, our next mode of discourse, definition. So this is a really interesting one because definitions, you might think of this in terms of objective and subjective dichotomies, where, you and I might have a different definition of a good movie. Okay, what constitutes a good movie? You and I might define that differently. However, we probably wouldn't be able to argue over other definitions, like dictionary definitions, let's say, like parts of speech. What is a noun? Well, a noun expresses the idea of a person, place, or thing. What parts of speech does an adverb modify? Adverbs, adjectives, verbs. Okay. So those definitions are static. We can't refute them. Now, it's interesting, in our current postmodern sociocultural landscape, we have all sorts of efforts to redefine things that we thought we knew. We all subscribe to a common definition of thing X or thing Y. But now you can make the argument that there seems to be a concerted effort to redefine certain things. And I'm not going to get into the weeds with discussing what those things are. You all can figure that out, or you all have your own opinions. Or maybe you don't think it's a problem that we redefine things. Maybe you don't think we're redefining things. I don't know. But I would certainly allege that some things are being redefined. And we're being asked as a culture, as a society, to subscribe to a new definition of certain things. Okay. So don't take this process, this idea of defining, for granted. Okay. Our world makes sense based on definitional aspects of the constituent parts of our world, right? If we can't make sense, if we can't define, if we can't say this thing means this, whereas this thing means this, our world turns into chaos. We can't perceive the world in a way that is logical and sensible. If you can't do that, you're out of the game, okay, so to speak. So this is a really crucial thing. So the exercises in the SCC ask you to kind of engage this topic of definition. I believe one of the exercises asks you to define certain things with your own definition. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting exercise. So I believe I have exercises 13 and 14 for you all to do in SCC. And then in the 1101 reader, if you click in the reader and you search in the search bar definition, just type in definition, and it'll bring you to the definition menu, if you will, all the readings there. You could probably just click expository when you get into the reader and get to the definition stuff from there. But however you choose to do it, the essay we're going to read is "A Zombie is a Slave Forever." This was written a few years ago by Amy Willentz. I believe it is a New York Times article. And we're reading it days after, or however many days after Halloween. She kind of pins it onto Halloween, people coming to her door dressed up as ghosts, goblins, zombies, okay? But she takes a very detailed, deep dive, if you will, of the history of the slave vis-a-vis a zombie in Haiti in, I believe, the 19th century. And she talks about the history of slavery there in conjunction with voodoo practices, things like that. So it's pretty interesting, and I guess fitting. Probably would have been better to have read it the days leading up to Halloween than the days succeeding Halloween, but in any case, if you're a Halloween fan like me, it's spooky season till Thanksgiving, let's say. So I still consider us in the Halloween season, even though it's all done. The day has passed. So look how she defines her terms. And that's what I have you all doing for a discussion board, okay? I'm asking you all to identify how she makes use of definition, how she defines a slave in terms of being a zombie. First of all, what is a zombie? Okay, pick your favorite monster type. Zombie has never been one of my favorites. I've never really found. I think I find the idea of zombies more interesting than I find the execution of that idea on film exciting. I find zombies. I find them to be boring, frankly. At least I'm zombied out. There seemed to be this zombie craze in the past 10, 15 years or so. And I'm just tired of zombies, frankly. Take that for what you will. But the idea of a zombie I find very compelling and intriguing, interesting. So the discussion form asks you, after you have read it, contribute 150 word at least post, okay? You're not going to be able to read anyone else's post until you yourself make a contribution. Then you get full credit if you submit a reply of at least 150 words to another student's post. Okay, so 2 assignments this week. The SEC exercises 13 and 14, that's chapter 3.5, definition. And then in the 1101 reader, A Zombie is a Slave Forever by Amy Willentz. And the way you find the instructions for the discussion forum is by going in the forum in Shell 6, week 12, clicking the title of the forum, and then clicking Create Thread. Clicking Create Thread will reveal the instructions. Okay? So that is what we have coming up. I think I might still be in the catch-up phase with grading. The essays, the research essays kind of pushed me back a little bit, trying to get those in. So I think I have another discussion forum, if I'm not mistaken, from a couple of weeks ago. Whatever it is, I'll get it turned around this week and try to get caught up. Okay? So I hope you all are doing okay. I understand that hurricane came y'all's way. It went through... my family is from Southeast Louisiana, New Orleans area, and they've gotten battered by storm after storm, it seems, this very active hurricane season. But then I saw that it kind of went y'all's way. The college, GNTC, was closed, I think, for at least a day last week. So you guys up in Calhoun, Gordon County, probably felt some of that too. So I hope you guys are doing okay, recovering nicely as best you can. And we soldier on our 12th week. If you need anything, let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'll try to help you out. Okay? Peace. See you next week. Bye.